I'm trying to find everyone. Oh, there it is. Okay, Bezrat Hashem, Seven Etzliach. It's Parshat VaYerah. A lot of stuff is happening. The three visitors to Avram Avinu, healing from the Brit Milah, and announcement of Yitzchak's birth, and that whole tzchok that happened because of that. And Sdom, Hashem has decided I'm going to wipe out all these people. I have to tell it to Avram because I know that he's going to be teaching his children about tzedakah and mishpat, so I'm going to prepare the way for that. And then, of course, okay, that Yitzchak, that's a big one. And as I was reading through the Parsha and seeing what I wanted to share, so what caught my eye, my interest as I'm reading is this whole that pasuk of tzedakah and mishpat, that before. Hey, Melissa, so nice to see you. Okay, so um, that Hashem said, okay, I'll just read it to you in Hebrew. Vayakumu misham anashim v'yashkifu al pnei Sdom v'Avram holech imam b'shalchan. Okay, so the three men that visited him, they went and they their gaze is upon Sdom. Hashem amar hamechaseni ma'Avram asher ani oseh. Am I going to hide what I'm going to be doing from Avram Avinu? Which is a funny thing to say because he's God. He can do whatever he wants. But he felt like
He's relational.
he's relational. He's relational. And so this is an indication that this is something key that's happening here. This is something that we have to open up our hearts to understand. Hashem is going to be sharing something that he's going to be doing, and he finds it as a big imperative. It's like very, very important for Avram Avinu to know. So he's not just relational. Well, yes, he's relational, but the relation is like there's like a partnership there. Like it gives Avram Avinu a responsibility knowing that this is going to happen. He's bringing him into the story as an active participant.
And
Otherwise, why tell him? And then and then we're arguing, but we're not gonna focus on the argument. We know that part of the story, and there's always deeper things that we can discover about that. But then Avram says, okay, am I going to hide from him? What I'm about to do, and he'll say, V'Avraham hayo hiye legoy gadol, but Avram Avinu, and he tells us why he's bringing him into this relationship and this partnership. V'Avraham hayo hiye legoy gadol, he's going to be a father of many, a big nations. I'm going to make a big nation. It's going to come from him. Avram is going to be a big nation, the goy gadol. Ve'atzum, ve'nivrachu po kol goyei haaretz, and all of the peoples of the world will be blessed through him, through Avram Avinu. So this curse that's going to come upon Sodom and Amorah, somehow Avram's potential of being a source of blessing for everybody, he needs to know about it. How? What's he going to do with it? We'll see. כי ידעתיו למען אשר יצווה את בניו ואת ביתו אחריו, ושמרו דרך השם לעשות צדקה ומשפט, למען הביא השם על אברהם את אשר דיבר עליו. Ki yadati, because I know him. Yadati is a very intimate knowing. Adam knew his wife Chava, right? It's a very intimate knowing. Like there's a love there, there's affection and closeness. Ki yadati, I know him. I'm very close to Abraham. He's close to my heart. Leman asher tzaveh, and what is this affection from? And I know that he will command his children, asher tzaveh banav et bito, and his whole household after him, v'shamru derech Hashem, that they will follow, they will keep derech Hashem, the ways of Hashem, lasot tzedakah mishpat, that he is going to instruct his children to keep the ways of tzedakah and mishpat. Tzedakah is justice. Well, tzedakah is really is how we. The rabbis asked, all the commentaries, tzedakah and mishpat, why both of them? Tzedakah implies tzedek. Tzedek is justice. It's mishpat, if it's law. But if tzedakah means acts of loving kindness,
isn't that protection? Like
no, not yet. But lasot tzedakah means to do tzedakah, like we give to another person to help them out in their time of need. They're doing the right thing. But then there's mishpat. Mishpat is what you deserve. Tzedakah is you may not deserve it, but I'm going to give you Um, I'm sorry, somebody just sent me a funny note. I don't know how to get rid of my WhatsApp from my desktop, and I keep, okay, that was a very funny comment that I just read. Sorry, I'm bringing myself back now. So so why does Hashem know? Hashem knows that Avraham Avinu is going to instruct his children and his household after him to keep the ways of Hashem. What are the ways of Hashem? Tzedakah and mishpat. But those are two different things. Tzedakah is gmilut chasadim, whether you deserve it or not. My heart is open to feel compassion for you, and I'm going to give you tzedakah. Mishpat is what a person gets what they deserve. It's a sentence based on your maasim. And here he's saying like there's tzedakah and mishpat happening together here. He's going Hashem, right, as a combination. Leman havi Hashem al Avraham et asher diber alav, and he's going to teach. Avraham is going to teach the ways of tzedakah and mishpat in order that Hashem should bring about all the blessings that he tends to give Avraham Avinu. So the blessings of Avraham seems like there's a conditional relationship here. The blessings of Abraham are conditional upon his children and the people of his household learning from Avraham to do tzedakah and mishpat. And when that happens, things get rolling in the world of the bracha that we need to see. You follow that? You have a question?
Like father.
Yeah, like a
Right,
father.
making him father. That
He's Avraham Avinu. He's fathered this way of the Jewish people to go b'derech tzedakah and mishpat. Yeah. So I have 3 books in front of me. I have Rav Ashlag, I have the Kotei Halachos of Rav Nassan, and I have the Kedushas Levi. I really want to give over the Kedushas Levi, but what?
Good.
But I'm going to start a little bit with I'm going to start with Kotei Halachos because he deals with the that's the tzedek and mishpat, that's the kan mishpat relationship, although the Kedushas Levi also. But in any case, okay. So tzedakah is when you're not necessarily deserving of it, but you're receiving the tzedakah, and mishpat is justice. So those concepts seems to clash each other. They seem to clash. You either get free gifts when you're not deserving, or you get what you deserve. Now, for a human being to do tzedakah in mishpat, that's a very hard thing to do because we're very we can only hold one thought at a time. I'm either seeing you as guilty or I'm having compassion for the reason you did the crime. I'm either judging you from this side of the brain, but both of them together at the same time, I have to shift from one to the other to be able to do either tzedakah or mishpat, but not together. Hashem can do that trick. In Hashem, is both. Every time he does mishpat, there's also tzedakah in it.
Does it for your own good.
Does it for your and the tzedakah that he gives is in direct measure and doesn't clash with the mishpat that he's giving out. There's mishpat, there's absolute strict justice, but in the same time, there's tzedakah in it that doesn't take any of the justice away, of the sentence of the deserving punishment, let's say, of what's supposed to happen to the person, but at the same time, there's tremendous rachamim in it, in the way that it's given over. Sometimes in Tanakh, mishpat is mentioned before tzedakah, like in Tehillim, David HaMelech mentions a lot tzedakah, mishpat is tzedakah. So, depending on if mishpat is mentioned first or tzedakah is mentioned first, then you know that that's more of where Hashem is heading. Where he's taking it. It's like right now I'm dealing din, but I'm never for letting go of tzedakah. And sometimes there's tzedakah that precedes mishpat, which means the rachamim is the overwhelming mode that's happening here, modality that's like the dynamic here, the relationship between Hashem and whoever he's dealing the mishpat and tzedakah with. Okay.
Rachamim is between the two, or rachamim is
no. So tzedakah is tzedakah. Okay, there's chesed and there's tzedakah. What's the difference between chesed and tzedakah?
Chesed you do directly to a person.
Tzedakah too? No, not necessarily.
Tzedakah you just Okay, and
Tzedakah, you're thinking about money. Tzedakah is also like I'm not going to go into that. It's like okay, tzedakah means like any movement chasadim. But I see what you're where you're saying, where you're going. But what I want to say is chesed. The difference between chesed and tzedakah is that chesed is motivated by a person who wants to do good, who has the the desire to be a giver. It's his nature. He has a giving nature. So whether he likes it or not, he needs to give because otherwise he doesn't feel fulfilled in his life because this is his nature.
yeah,
And he's going to go out of his way to find a receiver of his giving because he needs to give. Tzedakah, rooted in rachamim, is not motivated, is not coming from the person himself. It's not the desire to give is not coming from the person. It's coming as a result of another person waking up the need to give because my feelings of compassion are awakened because I see your situation and I need to give you tzedakah. It's the beginning point is very different. Chesed is the giver that needs to express his trait of giving. Rachamim is I'm okay not giving, but then when I see someone in need, it awakens the need to give in me. Not because it's a natural thing, but it's coming from the person who's in need that's awakening this need in me, this desire in me. You follow? That's the basic like difference between chesed and rachamim. So I'm going to read you a little bit about little bit about of Rav Nassim, and we'll see how it's going to relate to our times. ועל כן נשמח okay, so just okay. So there's a few entries here in the Likutei Halachos. That's why I got stuck here for a second. So we want to like what is this avoda that Avram Avinu is going to teach his children and his household after him to always do this thing called la'asot derech Hashem, la'asot tzedakah mishpat. This is his charge to us. This is his legacy that as his children, since that we have to always have an understanding of what the mishpat is, what is correct. And we also have to understand that there's a place for tzedakah and mishpat. And there's a dance between them. And we're not going to be able to do it as perfectly as Hashem, the derech Hashem, the way he does it. You know, like the example is, I think the Midrashim bring about this example, like somebody is found that they stole something and they go to the court and they stole. So they have to pay a fine, they have to give it back or whatever, serve some time for it. Punishment, that's mishpat. You did something wrong, here's your mishpat. But then you find out that the only reason they stole is because they have no money to eat, and if they wouldn't have stolen, they would have starved. So is it really stealing? Still technically stealing, but the mitigating circumstance around it. So now, so the same judge who gives the punishment, this is your sentence of, let's say you have to pay back everything you stole plus a little bit extra for the heartache that you caused, the scare that you did, whatever. But then right after, he'll stick his hand in his pocket and give the exact amount to this poor person to be able to pay the fine. This is how Hashem does mishpat and tzedakah, but without the time lapse. If a human being does it, there's a time lapse. Here's your sentence. Oh, but here's your tzedakah. Ah, okay, fine. But Hashem, when he gives a mishpat, it's the same time, and the tzedakah is the same time together. But we can't do that trick. We're not God. But as much as possible to be mindful of all the mitigating circumstances of when a person functions in this world, does something, broaden your horizon of what's going on in the life of this person. Is there a place to find the nekudat tova? Is there a place to stir up some compassion, rachamim, so that you can, aside from the justice that you of the situation, you're also bringing in rachamim into the situation.
So are you saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do tzedakah and mishpat together?
Exactly. Every time we get a punishment, it's a chesed elyon that I got this punishment.
But Hashem doesn't require the rachamim to achieve that. whereas we need the rachamim between tzedakah and mishpat. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's saying no. Mishpat and rachamim for him, it's always rachamim. When we are living in crazy times right now, and we're both our heart is swelling with pride of being Jewish. At the same time, it's broken to pieces over all the deaths. And this morning, I heard like 9 of our soldiers. Like you're at the, but what this is saying, there's going to be victory and there's going to be losses, and it's a mishpat and it's tzedakah. And we don't like there's rachamim in all of these tragic situations that we're
But
hearing.
they've been worse.
Not because it could have been worse.
No,
This bad thing itself, there is tremendous rachamim in it. We don't understand why. We don't understand. We don't see it, but we believe it because Chazal tell us, and it's Hashem, and it's the way of. You see, all of this like double standard of, like I didn't think about this before, and I really want to speak about other things, but now that it came up, this whole business of I'm wondering if this is not the root of where it's coming from. This mishigas of Am Yisrael, Tzva Agana Yisrael, that's made up of like what 18, 19, 20-year-olds of the best, and you see these faces. Each one is a Kadosh Elyon, such sweet boys and girls. And we're going to do everything we can so that the evil people don't care about their kids, shouldn't suffer too much loss for their civilians that don't even care about. Where did it come from? Like, why are the Jews so weird in that way? Any other country would just go there and blast them.
comes from rachamim.
It comes from the tzedek and mishpat and the rachamim. Again, it's like, but we have to be careful that shouldn't blind us to when there's mishpat that has to happen. We have to do tzedek, not tzedakah, tzedek and mishpat.
So going back to my original question.
Yeah.
So you're saying when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives out din, he combines tzedakah, mishpat, and rachamim all together.
Yeah, in his
But
thing, it's perfect.
Separated.
And it's not we have to. We can't. We're human. We're limited. No, we're it's not work that you have to do. We can only contain one thought at a time. You're either filled with compassion or you're filled with rage. Compassion and rage can't occupy the brain at the same moment. Maybe a second later, but at the same moment, it's not like it's something you have to learn to do. It's just not, we're not equipped to hold both things at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? So when we catch ourselves too much with din, we have to remind ourselves, well, where's the rachamim? So then we have to kind of like put a pause on, like compartmentalize. Okay, you stand there now for a minute, like you stand there on the side mishpat, and now let me look at the situation from rachamim. It's not something we learn to do. It's just something we have to be aware of, that's how our brain works, and you have to just.
That's the light. That's our light.
And then in the perspective of both of them together, there'll be some tiferet that comes out of it, some new thought. I don't know who this is, and I don't care. Okay.
If it calls for an action,
Yeah.
like we're trained to ask an Asa Tova from a posek or a mashpia or somebody who knows more than we do about what the Torah says in those situations, no?
Yeah, of course. You always have to be rooted in Das Torah. We're not making it up on our own.
No,
we can't go up. But why are you saying this now?
Making on the scale of things, and
on the scale of things is what's the Das Torah here? From Chazal, from Torah scholars. Okay, so so I said, you know what? I'm not going to go into more of the details, but I really want to give it 11:24. I really want to do Kedushas Levi. Okay, let me just do this fast. So why is this sentence, this revelation I'm going to be sharing with Avram Avinu, because I know that he's about to destroy Sodom and Amorah. So why are we being told this right before Sodom and Amorah? It's like the juxtaposition of the psukim of the subject matter in the Parsha. It's like Hashem is going to reveal to Avraham, what he's going to do, because he's going to be teaching Tzedakah and Mishpat to his children after him, and all blessing of the world that's going to come through and bless through Avram is dependent on this. So why is it coming before Sdom? So now, so Rav Nassan explains, am I going to cover up for him what I'm going to be doing in Sdom? And Avram is going to be the blessing of the whole world. Because I know that he's going to teach tzedek u'mishpat. Because Hashem Yitbarach desires very much that the prayer of the tzaddikim. Hashem wanted Avram to, what, as you said, Ilana, to pray on behalf of the people of Sdom. There's a midrash on this sugya, that when Avram Avinu prayed on behalf of the people of Sdom, Kadosh Baruch Hu had a lot of owning from that. It gave him a lot of pleasure. Even though Avram Avinu technically didn't, his prayer wasn't, it wasn't enough to save the city. The cities were destroyed. Nonetheless, his tefillah was not lost. But really, he was the prayer managed to do a lot. So his prayer didn't save Sdom, but it had a very important something that it did do, and that it saved Lot and his seed from his relationship that he eventually was going to have with his daughters. And in that way, Mashiach is born. So really, his prayer, we would think, failed. Attempted to pray, and it ended up in failure. No, it ended up being the seed of Mashiach. You follow what this is saying?
How did that happen?
What do you mean? How did that happen? He prayed and he saved Lot.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu assigned the success of the prayer to Lot's life and
Yeah. So
That's wife.
what?
Life,
Not his wife, but his daughters. 2 daughters and him ended up being saved. Because from that whole thing, in other words, why is Mashiach coming from this prayer? Why is it? Is that your question?
yeah.
Why is it? Because what was he praying for? To save humanity from its own evil. He was Moser Nefesh. Here's an Ish Chesed who cares so much about people, who you can imagine that he was the type of person that would hear anybody befalling any sort of bad would befall anybody. His heart would be right away to go out and help them and run to them. We just came out of Reb Shlomo's yurtzeit. He was like that. No matter what time of night, 2 o'clock in the morning, he was out there with the homeless, giving him all his money, giving him coats, things he had or didn't have. He found it for them, and as long as they have it, and it doesn't matter that he doesn't have it, because that's a chesed. So Avram Avinu, who was the Merkava of Chesed, you could imagine, like all of the calculations that went on in his head. But what do you mean you're going to destroy Sdom and Amorah? Such devastation. And what was his kavana? His kavana was the betterment of humanity, not so that they should survive and keep being the criminals that they were and the terrorists that they were. That wasn't his intention. His intention was, give me time with them and I'll help them beat tzaddikim. Nebuch, nobody educated them. Although Lot was educated in his household and he chose that lifestyle. But okay, that's a good question. But in any case, he still had enough good in him that his prayer managed to save him. And he had enough good in him, and even his daughters had enough good intentions to want to be with their father, that this was going to be the seed of Mashiach. Because why? Because it's not like, oh, we never got married. We never knew what it was like to be with a man. So here's a man. Okay. So before like a whole world crumbles around us and we're also going to die. That chas v'shalom, that wasn't the intention. The intention was we're it. If we don't do something, that's the end of humanity. They didn't know that it wasn't the whole world that was being destroyed. They only that it was only Sodom and Gomorrah that was destroyed. They thought this is it. We're like the humanity began with Noah and his children, and now it's just our father and us. So they had a kavana of L'Shem Shamayim with all the other kavanot that maybe were not so kosher, but they still had that. This is Orach Chaim HaKadosh says, another Mefarshim. This nakuda of L'Shem Shamayim on behalf of humanity is Nitzotz Mashiach. And in this kavana was mitgalgel, was rolled around until finally came out in hundreds of years later in Ruth, that became the mother of royalty, that became the mother of Mashiach, that extracted herself from Moab to become this grandmother of the dynasty of Mashiach. That kavana, that one kavana that they had, Lot and the daughters, to bring this about. But Avram Avinu's prayer created that whole scenario to save humanity from itself. So what Rav Nassan is saying here, V'yitzeit notu David Mashiach. Okay. V'yitzeit notu David Mashiach. Hold on. I just want to do something on my... Okay. וכמו שאמרו בתינו ז"ל, כי אף על פי שכבר נשתלח המלאך להציל, אבל אף על פי כן עדיין היו צריכים התערותו דלתתא. Even though there was already an angel that was sent to Sodom to save Lot, as we know, 3 malachim came, one to heal Avram Avinu, one to announce the birth of Yitzchak, and one to go and save Lot from the destruction. One to destroy Sodom, the same one that healed Avram. Okay, it's a whole I'm not going to confuse you, but whatever. It's 3 tasks here with 3 malachim, and every malach can only do 1 task at a time. But there's a way of explaining it, not for now. That larbot b'tfilah, but really, even though there was an appointed one of the malachim to go and save Lot, we still, what we're learning from the story is that you still needed the prayers of humans down here, delatata, itaruta delatata, and awakening from below, larbot b'tfilah, to increase in prayer, v'tachanunim, ligmor Yeshua, to finish the Yeshua. Yeshua is slated to happen, but we need to increase our prayers. Hashem is waiting for us. Why did Hashem tell Avraham Avinu before he did this? This is his partnership with him. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm sending my malach. Because that is the mishpat that has to happen. That is the mishpat and tzedakah. That's the tzedakah and mishpat that has to happen now. But I need you on the ground to do your part in davening for the hatzlach of everything, for all the potential, all the good, the potential saving of humanity of Mashiach, that is the tzedakah that's in this mishpat of Sodom. You follow what I'm saying? The tzedakah of Mashiach in the horrible story of the mishpat of Sodom. That has to happen through the prayers of that jump starts, that gets the catalyst for that is us. Is us who we are the legacy of Avram Avinu. He is teaching his household. It's the pasuk is speaking directly to us. He's going to teach us what to do. And what do we read? He's davening for all the evil in this world. How could it be? Where's the nitzotz of kedusha? Where's the nitzotz of Mashiach in this? It can't just be all evil. Hashem, please reveal it. Let us overcome this. To finish the salvation, to save Lot, to save Lot in order to bring out from it David Mashiach. And that's why the pasuk ends with Ki yadativ shemedaber minyan tzedakah u'mishpat. I will know. I know Avram Avinu from all this whole business of that he's going to instruct his household with tzedakah and mishpat. Ki kol koach hatfilah levatel hagzera, because the power of tefillah to nullify a decree is through how? How do we go? This is an answer. This is a good. It's a little bit new what he's introducing here that I didn't say. כי כל כוח התפילה לבטל הגזרה הוא רק על ידי זה שמבקשים מהשם יתברך, אף על פי שרוצה להביא איזה דין וגזרה חס ושלום, שמגיע כן בוודאי על פי משפטו באמת, אף על פי כן יש אצלו בחינת צדקה בתוך המשפט, שהצדיקים בתפילתם יכולים לעורר עד שיהיה נמשך צדקה וחסד בזה לתוך המשפט, שיושב לדון. What is he saying here? This is so beautiful. How does the tzedakah, this is something incredible what he said this, do you follow? That there's mishpat. There's a big zalbin that's going to come out about the destruction of these cities. It should always be on Sunay Israel, by the way, Bezrat Hashem. On Sunay Israel, mishpat. But who brings in, that's Hashem, because Hashem knows what the tzedek is, right? But who brings in the tzedakah of Hashem? This is the prayer of the tzaddikim that say, Hashem, where's your rachamim? And it's the prayer of the tzaddikim that bring in the tzedakah, the rachamim, that can then be mevatel gzeira.
And it's mevatel gzeira because the tzedakah is revealed from our tefillah.
From our tefillah. So it's a tzedakah actually we're doing for Hashem. This is something that we're going to go and we're going to read soon in Kedusha Salevi. Hashem wants to give tzedakah. Hashem wants to give shefa brachot and rachamim gdolim. So when we allow him to do it, but he made it contingent upon our deeds, our merit, our tefillot, our taruta delatata, our awakening from below. And when we do our part, it's like we're giving tzedakah to Hashem. We're finally allowing Hashem to be able to do what he wanted to do all along, but he was just waiting for our moves, our opening up the channels, because it's a relationship, like you said. See? So let me read it from the Hebrew again. Ki kol koach hatfilah, all of the power of prayer, levatel hagzera, to nullify a decree, hu rak al yedei zeh shemevakshim me'Hashem yitbarach. In that is that the tefillah is that we are asking Hashem, blessed be He, that despite the fact that He wants to bring a certain deen, justice, like we saw in Simchas Torah, there was a gzir din He wanted, and it came about. There's so many stories that are so prove that it's hashgacha pratit, it's Hashem's gezerah. It's not. He wasn't sleeping on the job. He allowed it to happen. Rakes up a lot of questions, but we're maminim b'nim maminim, and we're not gonna. Those questions are not going to confuse us, because there's also tremendous rachamim in these stories. But there's a gezerah, but we didn't know to daven. We didn't know, but now we know, right? So the whole tefillah is mevakshim Hashem, is asking Hashem sherotze lavi, that he wants to bring deen, justice, and gezerah decrees upon us, chas v'shalom. Shemagia ken bevadai, and for sure we're deserving of this according to His mishpat, because it's always emet. Hashem doesn't make mistakes. But nonetheless, it's like reminding Hashem, but you have tzedakah also. You're not just you're not just a judge. It's raining. It's tzedakah, but you Hashem also have tzedakah in the mishpat, tzadikim, and it's the tzadikim in their tefillot that are awakened, that tzedakah in the mishpat of Hashem, because for Hashem, it's always tzedakah and mishpat. He's always one. It's always one gush, one for Him. But whose job is it to awaken the tzedakah, the rachamim within the mishpat of Hashem? This is the tefillot. This is our tefillot. The tefillot of the tzaddikim, and we're all tzaddikim. Until tzedakah and chesed gets drawn into the mishpat, that He's about to sit and judge. And in this, we are mevatel the gzera. We can mevatel the gzera legamre. Not just to soften it, but to be mevatel it legamre. Because Hashem in the mishpat does tzedakah. This is one of His wonders, that we don't understand how we can do that, because we can't do it. We're either one or the other. Okay, so that's look at the halachas. Now we're going to go.
We do all the time daven for rachamim shemayim merubim.
Yes, all the time.
So, but that's like, even if we don't know the Zayr is coming and we don't know when and we don't,
Yes.
but from a heart space, if we asked all the time for Rachamim,
Yeah.
that would, I mean, it depends on the kavana and the intensity and all that, but still.
You know what you're
you
saying,
could give it
Esther.
a
What you're
Flavi.
saying, Esther, is like it's like this. Just because, let's say, we have food, so I'm going to daven for food. What rachamim do I need? The food's already on my table. But that's faulty thinking, because who's to say that it's going to continue being there? I fall into complacency and taking things for granted. So I'm always have to daven for rachamim to continue having food, even though I'm the richest person in the world and I have like all these storehouses of food. We always have to daven for rachamim because we're never
Yeah.
allowed to take anything for granted.
But you're talking about a protocol, a paradigm
Yeah.
that if, I mean, we're the ones that have to,
Awaken the rachamim to that. This is
if you do it in advance or you do it all the time, or you do it when things are like.
we should always do it. Right. We should always do it. We should always do it.
First and foremost.
Yeah. Rachamim gdolim. Okay, so now, Bezrat Hashem, I have 20 more minutes, and let's see if I can do this Kedusha slaving. On the same pasuk, am I going to hide from Avraham what I'm about to do? Kol havdut shel Avraham. You're worried because you have to go and it's going to rain. I can give you an umbrella.
We left the windows.
You left the windows open?
It doesn't say rain on the app, so even now that it's raining, it doesn't say rain.
In the Rachamim, the wind is going to shift
Yeah.
the drops away from getting into your dira, and it's going to. Okay.
It'll dry.
Okay, Gishmei Bracha, Bezrat Hashem.
Exactly.
כל העבדות של אברהם שעשה ועבד את השם באהבה ובשכל גדול. This whole thing that he's going to be mitzaveh, commanding his children after him to be in this way of tzedakah and mishpat. כל העבדות, all this whole service, this whole divine service of Abraham, שעשה ועבד את השם באהבה ובשכל גדול, that he served Hashem with tremendous love and with tremendous understanding. He on his own came to the belief in Hashem without, like, Terach being his father, the biggest idolater, right? And he came to it on his own. So he has a sechel gadol and a tremendous heart. Hakol haya me'at be'einav. Everything was, no matter how much his service was like with full of love and full of intellect, to his own eyes, it's like nothing. Like I haven't even begun to serve Hashem. V'lo haya nechshavim lo neged tovot Hashem v'hanisim she'nesa imo. And he didn't, he says, all of the tovot, all of the blessings that I see Hashem and all of the miracles that I have in my life, how could it be compared, all the blessings compared to what I'm kivyachol doing for Hashem? Not even, like, you can't even compare. I have infinite more tovot coming to me from Hashem, more than I ever can deserve. Even with all the ahava and sechel gadol. היה נחשבים לו נגד טובות השם וניסים שנעשה עמו, ולכך לא הידע בעיניו, and that's why he was never felt that he did enough. He always had to be on the ready to do more, because he felt being always in the red. ואמר בליבו, אף אם אתקן את עצמי בכל מיני עשיות, and he said to himself, even if I will be metaken myself in all kinds of doings, all kinds of actions, ועבודות טובות, all kinds of ways, and tikkun amidot, and everything like that, Mani, what am I? Take the whole, everything, all the potential of all the good that I give you still doesn't come like to an iota of being deserving of all the blessings of Hashem, even one blessing that Hashem gives me. Because we owe him everything and he owes us nothing. And everything we have, it comes from Hashem. I'm adding now my own words. And, it's like that joke. We take credit for putting a mezuzah. Who gave you the word? Who gave you, first of all, to have a mezuzah doorpost to have a mezuzah to hang on? Who gave you the money to buy the mezuzah? Who put you in an environment to be able to even know about a mezuzah? It's all Hashem. בלבאף אם אתקן את עצמי בכל מיני עשיות ועבודות טובות, מה אני? גלל כן התיישב את עצמו, I don't know, what is this word? גילל כן? בגלל כן התיישב את עצמו, שאין זה מספיק. So because of this, he decided, like, it occurred to him that he is not enough. מה שאני לבדי מקיים, what I am doing, את המצוות בשביל בשכל גדול, that I'm doing the mitzvahs בשכל גדול, with full understandings. I'm not messing any part of the mitzvah up. I'm doing exactly the way it's supposed to be. רק הכניס עוד כוונה. So what if that wasn't enough for him? Kedusha Levi is going to say something so sweet. Because it wasn't enough for him, he brought in another kavana. Because everything he does is from Hashem. So how could he possibly pay Hashem back? And how could he feel deserving of the blessing? So what did he do that was a little bit more from himself? He brought another kavana in his thoughts. כשהיה מקיים איזה מצווה, לעשותו בשם כל ישראל. That when he came to do a mitzvah, he did it b'shem kol Israel. How would you translate b'shem kol Israel? In the name of all of Israel, on behalf of all of everyone that's going to issue forth from him. I'm going to do this, but the merit of whatever it is I'm doing, the zchut of it, who I'm including in my asiyah of this mitzvah b'sechel gadol v'b'ava gdola, kol Israel. Dehine kol Israel ayu klulim b'machshavato, because all of Israel were included in his mind. He never lost sight of the fact that he is the father of a great nation that's going to have this legacy of bringing Hashem into this world. And so every single one of his children that's going to issue forth, no matter what generation they're coming from down the line from him, he held them in his hand, and every kavana that he had to do a mitzvah. Who are the beneficiaries of all those kavanas? Us. Who gives us the koach to be as irrational as we are in our commitment to Hashem with all the Akades Yitzchaks that Hashem puts us through? And we say, okay, Mesiras Nefesh, here's my 20-year-old beautiful son, B'Shem Kol Yisrael, to fight the good fight for everybody's sake. It's not logical. Go to America. What do you need this for? No, we're going to fight for Eretz Yisrael, for Kedusha. The kavanah, the Mesiras Nefesh he had for Hashem and his love and the great understanding of every mitzvah, the implication of it, he held all of us in his head. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. שהנה כל ישראל היו כלולים במחשבתו ובמוחו של אברהם, כי הבן הוא גנוז בכוח האב, because we were all in potential in his mind before we were even born, because he's the beginning point. והנה במוחו של אברהם היה שורש וכלל מכל כנסת ישראל. So in Avram's mind was the root and the klal mikol Knesset Yisrael. He had all of Knesset Yisrael, all of us within him. וזרע אברהם הבאים אחריו כל דור ודור עד עקבתא דמשיחא. Every single Jew from every different single generation until עקבתא דמשיחא, until the time that we're living now. ואם כן, כשעשה איזה מצווה עשה עם כל הכוחות שלו. So therefore, when he did any mitzvah, he did it with all his full strength. And he was like pouring his strength into all the potential children that are going to come from him, only in potential, because we weren't yet actualized, born yet. Within all the branches that are in the future going to be spreading out from him. And two beneficial things happened when he did this, that he included us in every kavana. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Two resulting benefits. One, כיוון שהוא קיים כל המצוות וכל מצוות דרבנן ודקדוקי המצוות ואפילו עירובי תבשילין, אם כן כשעשה בשם כל ישראל היה עבודה ברבים, אשר כל אחד מישראל קיים כל התרי"ג מצוות בכוח. One beautiful side effect of this benefit is that since he, as Chachamim tell us, he kept all of Torah Kula, even the Rabbanan, even Iruvei Tavshilin. And when he did every mitzvah of the Torah, plugging into it, B'Shem Kol Yisrael, in a perfect manner because this is Avram Avinu doing it. What comes out from this is that every single Jew was Mekayim, every single one of the mitzvahs of Taryag mitzvahs. We already have it, that koach in it to be Moser Nefesh, to do it, because we already did it as we were incorporated within Avram Avinu. Right? Like, you understand the implication? Do we need to speak about this, or do you get it? Is your heart like open to this? You understand? You know why we do it. You know why we're Moser Nefesh? Like that, you open up the Tanya. It says illogical. You get a Jew that's like completely not connected to anything in Torah, but put a gun to his head, deny your Judaism or die. You'll say, put a bullet in my head. I'm not denying my Judaism, but you're not living as a Jew. What do you mean? I'm Jewish.
It's Jewing.
Where does it come from? Now we see it. Kedushas Levi explains it. We were incorporated. We were part and parcel of Avram Avinu. He's our father that gave birth to us. Physically, DNA, and spiritually, if not in the DNA, the neshamot that coming back, Gerim, all of it. We were there incorporated. All the Gerim, they say that this is the souls that they made, Avram and Sarah, when they were together, not making babies from it, real babies, really. So where did the souls go? They went into the converts that end up coming back. So they too were incorporated within the koach of Avram Avinu when he did his mitzvahs. So we have every single one of us has that Mesiras Nefesh of Avram Avinu for every single mitzvah. And all you have to do is a little bit shake the foundation of the Jew, and you see it's coming out. And boy, what Simchat Torah shook us up, and look at our army now. Look at our army now. Unbelievable. All of the nonsense in Dizengoff. Who even remembers judicial reform? Who even remembers any of that nonsense? It's like such shtiyot. And then another benefit from this, that he made a clear path. He made a clear path that for all generations from him onward, because he did it in a perfect way, perfect understanding of the mitzvahs, with perfect ava in a perfect way, all of it. So that means we have the potential to also access the knowledge that he had in doing the mitzvahs. Our equipment, our mind, and our understanding. We've been there within Avram Avinu, understanding it, he was there. So it means every single person, whatever mitzvah is for us to do, we have an ability to understand it in its profound way. It's also part of the legacy. Let's see how else he develops it. And to perform them. Yudit, God bless you. Yudit, I read before the class, I read what you shared, and this is exactly this. Like, it fits in from our chat. It's a long story, but no, after reading Kedushas Levi and then reading what you shared, so because we already performed these mitzvahs together, but Safta im Avram Avinu, together with Avram Avinu, Asher bekal kol echad. So therefore, it's actually paved the way to make it easy for every single Jew to actually actualize the potential of performing all mitzvahs. Also, and then Matay Yagiu Masay. There's a Chazal that says there's a person should walk around saying, when will my actions come close, will reach the actions of our avos? Matay Yagiu Masay leMaaseh Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. When will my actions reach the actions of our forefathers? And he says, on the face of it, can we ever imagine we're ever going to be at the Madrega of Avram? Is that what we're asking for, to get to the Madrega of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? He says, Kedushas Levi says, no. It's not to be as Avram Avinu, just to reach those actions, those maasim of this particular person, as his root was in Avram Avinu as Avram Avinu did it. I don't know if you're following. You're following, it's just giving you a headache. שכיוון שכל אחד עשה כבר כל המצוות בכוח אברהם, we did all the mitzvahs with the כוח of אברהם, אם כן אינו צריך רק לטוב, רק לשוב לשורשו, all we have to do is just go back to our roots, and then it becomes easy for us. להוציא הדבר מכוח אל הפועל. Okay, let me skim fast here.
But we still need Yitzchak and Yaakov.
Yes. But Avram is the root of Yitzchak and Yaakov too. So everything that there's a principle, a rule, a chok in Kabbalah, that everything, any lower level is incorporated in the level above it.
Yeah, but it needed to be
fleshed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we say Matai yagiu Masai lemasei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. So we're mentioning Yitzchak and Yaakov because we need the Gvura of Yitzchak to fight Hamas. We need the Tiferet, the Rachamim of Yaakov Avinu to understand Rachamim is for your own children. They want to kill you. Like, keep the Rachamim where it's supposed to be. And maybe even for the sake of the world, there's Rachamim in getting rid of Hamas. Just because you're killing them doesn't mean there's no Rachamim there. There's Rachamim believe in killing evil. Whatever, it's complicated, but yeah, we need the chesed. We need the chesed, which is the shoresh of it all. בסותו איזה מצווה אינו עושה אותו הוא לבדו, רק את בניו. Okay, כי כשאדם מאמין באמונה שלמה, שהקדוש ברוך הוא יתענג בהשפעתו, now he's going a little bit a different tangent here. כי כשאדם מאמין, when a person believes באמונה שלמה, שהקדוש ברוך הוא יתענג בהשפעתו לישראל, when a person believes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have pleasure, gets pleasure when he is a mashpia, when Hashem wants to give us shefa, to the degree to which we believe that Hashem has absolute oneg, that by giving us what he wants to give us, which is shefa ein sof. As מה שמבקש מהשם יתברך טובה וברכה, הוא תענוג השם יתברך. Saying something unbelievable here. Saying that so Hashem wants to give us good, right? Hashem wants to give us good. So by me asking for good for myself, give me food, give me shelter, give me shidduch, give me peace, give me healing. I'm not only asking for myself because Hashem wants to give it to me. So by me asking him, I'm asking Hashem to give me something that's going to give him pleasure if he gives it to me.
That's the father. That's the pattern.
Yeah. ותענוג השם יתברך בהשפעתו לישראל. I need can somebody pour me something? It doesn't matter. Actually, maybe I'll just put someone else, but also others. Okay. ישראל הולכים מחזיקים בתורת השם. But ותענוג השם יתברך בהשפעתו. So there's oneg of Hashem that he's mashpia to Am Yisrael. Why is it? When does he give it? When does he have so much nachas that he's then going to open up the faucet? על ידי מחמת שישראל הולכים ומחזיקים בתורת השם.
When more and more keep the mitzvahs.
When we clear our channels from the nonsense and we're more aligned with Torah and mitzvahs and the derech Hashem. This is the nachas that the Father wants to see. That then if you're asking for the extra, whatever it is that you're asking for, not extra anything, it says, okay, Mamale, I want to give it to you. And then this is the greater pleasure of Hashem. So our pasuk, Hashem says about Avram, I know that he will command his children after him to be in the derech Hashem, which is basically Torah and mitzvahs. And there's another component of tzedakah and mishpat because of tzedakah mishpat. But that Avram Avinu is going to command them to guard the derech Hashem, שיצווה אותם להחזיק תורת השם, ועל ידי זה יתענג השם יתברך מהשפעתו. This is the key for all shefa and blessing to come in this world, that the Jewish people should live as Jews, as bequeathed to us and taught to us by Avram Avinu. זה למען הביא השם אל אברהם. אז שפיר יכולנו לחשוב שיבוא על אברהם אשר דיבר עליו. אוקיי? הנה משפט וצדקה. אוקיי. I'm going to end with the last thought, and it brings in Yitzchak. ידוע שיצחק הוא גבורה. Yitzchak is the restraint of chesed. It's the holding back. It's gevura. More al galut. But gevura, the implication of gevura is I'm holding back chesed, that means there's galus. I'm not in the free-flowing shefa of the light of Hashem. I'm experiencing tzimtzum, it's galus. Now, Kedushas Levi, Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev says, look up Rashi, Shegalut Mitzrayim etchil meledat Yitzchak. The galus of Mitzrayim began with the birth of Yitzchak. When did the birth of Yitzchak happen? After Sdom, in our Parsha, right? וידוע מאמר חכמינו ז"ל, שהשם יתברך מקדים רפואה למכה. And we know from our sages that Hashem is always precedes the treatment, the refuah, the healing, before the patch even gets to us, before the makkah. How would you say that in elegant English? Makdim refuah lamaka.
The healing becomes the hurt.
Not becomes, he precedes
Before the hurt.
that forever the healing precedes the hurt. Lachen leidat amon. In other words, Hashem already prepares the healing before the need for the healing even comes up. Lachen leidat Amon v'Moav. That's why the birth of Ammon and Moab from Lot, these two very cruel nations that came from Lot and his daughters. That's from the side of the lo lishma ideas that Lot's daughters had with Lot. But nonetheless, they had a lishma aspect to save humanity nonetheless. Somewhere in their consciousness, they held on to it. But and then Ruth comes from that, Mashiach comes from that. So he's saying here, because the healing always precedes even the need for the healing to show itself, that's why the birth of Ammon and Moab from Lot is mentioned in this Parsha before the birth of Yitzchak. Ki Mashiach ba mi Moab, Mashiach comes from Moab through Ruth, dainu merut ha-Moaviyah, v'mishum hachi nizkar leidat Mashiach sheba mi Moab, and that's why the beginnings of Mashiach that comes from Moab is mentioned. This is the refuah, this is the healing that's written in the Torah even before the birth of Yitzchak, because Yitzchak is Gevura that begins the whole galus of Mitzrayim, the need for Mashiach altogether, this concept of Gevura. So, B'ezrat Hashem, we covered a lot of concepts here. How do we bring it all together? Can I help? Anyone want to share what you got from it? Turn this into a yiratzon. Hi, Alyssa, I see you're smiling. Okay. We are the children of Avram Avinu. We were incorporated within him, within his consciousness, this great man. He had us, every single one of us, he had us in mind as he was dedicating his life to Torah and mitzvahs, for the chesed and the revelation of Hashem, and revealing Hashem in this world. He was a Baal Chesed. That's why Jews are Baalei Chesed. That's why we see all the Chesed we see. It comes from deep, deep within our DNA, coming from both biological and spiritual DNA that comes from Avram Avinu. And it's a legacy that he impressed upon us, imprinted upon us, because as he was doing what he was doing, he kept all of us in his mind. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. And so the mysterious nefesh that we have for Jews and for Hashem and for humanity, we are getting it from Avram Avinu. There's no escaping it. It's who we are. And if it's hidden, it's because the galus had its effect on us. But now that we're back in Eretz Yisrael, there's less and less reasons for that essence to remain in a hidden place. More and more of our essence, this is such exciting times with all the brokenheartedness of all these deaths, enough of that already. But to be jumping up and down the joy at the same time for being Jewish, for being really Bnei Avraham, It's unbelievable. The zchut that we have. And then another thing that we learned is that why did Hashem tell Avram Avinu about Sodom? Because we need to awake, because Hashem waits for us. He's relying on us to awaken the Rachamim Gdolim within Hashem through our tefillot. He could have stopped creation at angels, but for some reason, he wanted this whole scenario to happen. All this Olam Hazeh stuff. And okay, that's a topic for a different time. But the thing is, even the dach of the feeling that I have to go to a Tehillim, I have like this restlessness of I'm not doing enough. I need to find something to do. Like, where's that coming from? This restlessness. I can't not do nothing. So let me put another thing in the pushka. Let me send another thing. Make another cake for the families that are here from Sderot and find them and give them hospitality. Let me do something. Let me go volunteer here, there, and the other thing. Let me tie tzitzis for some more soldiers. Where's it coming from? It's in that pasuk that we learned today. It's Avram Avinu with all his kavanas made it part of the fabric of our nature that we can't just live our life without caring. This chesed to awaken the rachamim of Hashem. We want rachamim of Hashem so much. It starts with the rachamim that we actualize in our own and manifest in our daily. That then brings about the rachamim duim and Yeshua Gdolot of Hashem. That's all the tefillot, all the WhatsApp chats with all the good feel things. This is what it is. Storm the heavens, right? It's our mitzvot that are going to do it. Keep on doing. Don't drop the ball. No time to rest right now. Everybody understands that they have to do this. It's so rooted in this pasuk. Avram Avinu, Hashem telling Avram Avinu is done because I know you're going to give this legacy to your children. And boy, did he do it. And Avram Avinu, wherever you are in Shemaim, look at your children. Look at us. We are so your children. And more, Bezat Hashem, more and more, we're going to keep doing it.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much. Shavua Tov. I sent the link to Sheva Chaya's art. Join us in about 15 minutes. 12:15. We'll open the Zoom at 12:15. We'll see if we're going to start it then or not. Thank you so much, James. Who's James? I don't even see James. Oh, you did that to me last time. Okay, sorry, Malka. Everybody, thank you so much.